The first debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump was a clash of styles. Where Joe Biden had been cautious, Harris was direct. When Trump lashed out, she pushed back. Harris brought her own brand of energy, a mix of sharp wit and focus. She spoke directly to the camera, her tone serious. This direct approach was a breath of fresh air for Democrats. Harris seemed comfortable going toe-to-toe with Trump. Her performance energized the Democratic base, ready to fight fire with fire. One of the most striking differences between Harris and Biden was on display in their handling of abortion rights. It's an issue Biden has sometimes seemed uncomfortable discussing at length. Harris, in contrast, met the issue head-on, her voice filled with passion as she defended a woman's right to choose. She didn't mince words, directly accusing Trump and his administration of waging a war on women's bodies. Harris connected the issue to the larger fight for reproductive justice, framing it as a fundamental question of freedom and equality. She spoke directly to women, assuring them that she would be their champion, her voice unwavering in its support. This unwavering stance on abortion, a key issue for the Democratic base, was in stark contrast to Biden's more cautious approach. While Biden has consistently supported abortion rights, he has at times faced criticism for his handling of the issue. Harris's forceful advocacy resonated with Democratic voters, particularly women, who saw in her a powerful defender of their rights. For all the strengths of Harris's performance, there was a curious omission. She made little mention of the Biden administration's accomplishments. The American Rescue Plan, the Infrastructure Bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, all these were largely absent from her remarks. It was a curious gap in an otherwise effective debate strategy. After all, these were significant legislative achievements. They represented victories for Biden in a deeply divided Washington. They had a tangible impact on the lives of millions of Americans. And yet, Harris chose not to highlight them, focusing instead on drawing a sharp contrast with Trump. The reasons for this omission were unclear. Perhaps it was a strategic decision to focus on the future, to present Harris as a fresh start rather than a continuation of the Biden era. Or perhaps it reflected a desire to distance herself from Biden on certain issues, to carve out her own distinct political identity. Whatever the reason, the absence of Biden's record from the debate stage was a notable omission. Section 4. A delicate dance. Harris's performance highlighted the unique challenge she faces as the vice president running for president. She needs to convince voters that she's her own person, with her own vision for the country. But she also needs to maintain the support of those who voted for Biden, who see in him a steady hand. It's a delicate dance, requiring a careful balancing act. Harris needs to differentiate herself from Biden without alienating his base. She needs to highlight her own strengths while also acknowledging the accomplishments of the administration she's a part of. The debate showed glimpses of how Harris might navigate this challenge. She emphasized her own experience as a prosecutor, her commitment to fighting for justice and equality. She highlighted her own personal story, the daughter of immigrants who rose to become a United States Senator. These were all subtle but important ways of distinguishing herself, of showing voters that she was more than just Biden's running mate. Section 5. Looking ahead. Harris's debate performance left Democrats with much to ponder. Her direct approach, her forceful advocacy, her clear contrast with Trump. All of these were welcome signs for a party eager for a change in direction. But the omission of Biden's record, the lingering questions about how she'll differentiate herself, these remained areas of uncertainty. The debate was a snapshot, a moment in time. It offered a glimpse of what a Harris presidency might look like, the strengths she would bring to the office, the challenges she would face. It was a reminder that the 2024 election is not just a referendum on the past, but a choice about the future. As the campaign moves forward, Harris will need to build on the momentum of her debate performance. She'll need to articulate a clear vision for the country, one that both distinguishes her from Biden and builds on his legacy. The debate was a strong start, but the race is far from over.